The manslaughter trial of former Minnesota police officer Kim Potter, who was charged in the fatal shooting of Dante Wright. Potter said this was an accident, that she mistook her gun for a taser, but the prosecutor argued regardless of intent, she acted recklessly and negligently. And today, the defense began calling witnesses in the trial. So here to break it all down is legal expert Bernarda Villalona from Joey Jackson Law. Bernarda, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So the prosecution looked at Potter's police training today. We actually heard from the police chief at the time of the shooting who testified in Potter's defense. We're going to take a real quick listen right here. Take a look.
When I viewed both camera angles and had all the data in front of me, I saw no violation.
No violation of what?
Of policy, procedure, or law.
So he clearly has her back here, but we also know that this police chief resigned after Dante Wright's shooting. Given all of what we know, how much weight should the jury give this testimony?
Well, the jury's going to give it a lot of weight because we're talking about the chief of police. He was the chief of police for that county. And right away from the very beginning, he stated that Kim Potter did nothing wrong. In fact, he resigned because he was adamant that she did nothing wrong. But the prosecution was able to cross him and say that the very next day after the shooting, weren't you right next to Kim Potter when she was giving an interview? Aren't you also her friend aside from the chief of police? So we don't know how much weight the jury is going to put on this chief of police, former chief of police, but we'll just have to wait and see.
We're now going to be hearing from use of force experts, and this might be a pretty simple question, but I mean, what is the law here? How is the jury supposed to decide what's an appropriate use of force, what it looks like in this particular situation?
So, Trevor, what you have here is the battle of the experts. So obviously the prosecution already called the use of force expert, and that use of force expert stated that it was unreasonable, the use of force that Kim Potter used, whether it was meant to be a taser or a firearm. Either one of those uses of forces weren't called for in this situation. Today, the defense called the use of force expert. The difference between this use of force expert is that this use of force expert was not and is not getting paid for his testimony. And he stated that it was reasonable for Kim Potter to actually take out what she wanted to was her taser in order to prevent bodily injury from her partner that could have been injured if Dante Wright would have just driven off. So the problem here, of course, you know that the defense does not have to prove their case. They do not have to prove that Kim Potter is innocent. They have no burden. The burden is on the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Kim Potter is guilty, whether it's manslaughter in the first degree, that she was reckless, that will carry a jail sentence of up to 15 years, or manslaughter in the second degree, that she had culpable negligence that will carry a sentence of up to 10 years. Still, we'll wait. Tomorrow, Kim Potter is supposed to testify. Let's see if she can seal the deal in her innocence.
I'm glad you brought that up because that was going to be my next question. With Kim Potter taking the stand, does that surprise you? Is this something that she kind of has to do in her own defense? I mean, if the burden of proof is on the prosecution?
So I'm not surprised that she's going to take the stand, that she's going to testify in her own behalf, because tomorrow what's going to happen when Kim Potter testifies, she is the master of her own fate. She's going to have to come off credible, believable, likable for this jury to put any weight into her testimony and actually believe that this was a mistake. This wasn't an accident. There was no intention here, even though neither of the charges require intent to kill or intent to shoot or intent to even use the taser. So we're hoping that the jury, the defense is hoping that the jury is going to like her. But is it a surprise? I'm not surprised. From the very jury selection, the defense stated that she was going to testify. And the going trend now around the country is defendants testifying and crying, of course, in front of the jury to gain some kind of sympathy with the jury.
Bernarda Villalona, we appreciate your time, and we'll be watching closely as Kim Potter takes the stand tomorrow.
Good night.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.